What if I told you there is a country where you can walk on rocks, older than complex life itself, where a mountain is literally a folded volcano from when the land sat at the South Pole, and where the longest place name in Europe was invented just to attract tourists? Did you know Wales has a coastline longer than the entire United States East Coast? Islands so thick with seabirds they look snow-covered from a distance, and a lake with a fish that exists nowhere else on Earth. From mile-high peaks to underground cathedrals carved by slate miners, to a zip line where you fly at 100 miles per hour, these are 50 insane geography facts about Wales that will change how you see it. Wales is small, roughly the size of New Jersey, just 8,000 square miles. But within this compact package, Wales packs 3 national parks, coastline that never seems to end, mountains that scrape the clouds, and geology so ancient it predates most life on Earth. This is Wales, and it is about to rewrite your mental map of Britain. Snowdon, or Ure Wydfa, rises 10,850 feet, the highest peak in Wales and England. The summit stands 10 degrees Celsius colder than sea level. In 1953, Edmund Hillary used it to train for Everest. 500,000 people climb it every year, and Arctic alpine plants clinging to its cliffs are Ice Age survivors. Fact 49th. Wales has 1,680 miles of coastline, longer than the entire United States East Coast from Maine to Florida. The Wales Coast Path was the first continuous coastal route around an entire country, opened in 2012. You are never more than 50 miles from the ocean anywhere in Wales. Fact 48. Snowdon's rocks are 450 to 500 million years old, formed by undersea volcanoes when Wales sat at the South Pole. The mountain is literally a volcano made of compressed ash. You are walking on the remains of an ocean that no longer exists. Fact 47th. Crib Goch is Britain's wettest spot, receiving 4,500 millimeters of rain per year. That's 178 inches, roughly 15 feet, more than double Manchester's rainfall. You could almost swim in the air. Fact 46. Wales has 15 mountains over 3,000 feet, all in Snowdonia. Mountaineers attempt to summit all 15 in 24 hours, covering 26 miles with 10,000 feet of elevation gain. It's one of Britain's most grueling mountain challenges. Fact 45. Lanfair Pwyl Gwingil Gogorishwa Drobful Lantysilio Gogogoch is 58. Letters long, the longest place name in Europe. It means the Church of St. Mary in the hollow of White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool. It was invented in the 1860s to attract railway tourists. 200,000 people visit annually just to see the sign. Anglesey is the largest island. Anglesey, the island of ancient rocks, covers 275 square miles. It contains Britain's oldest rocks, Precambrian formations over 700 million years old. These stones predate complex life on Earth, yet in medieval times it was called the Mother of Wales because it fed the nation. Fact 43. The Menai Strait separates Anglesey from mainland Wales, 15 miles long but only 400 meters wide at its narrowest point. Tidal flows arrive from both ends simultaneously, creating currents up to 8 knots and whirlpools called the swellies. Slack water occurs an hour before high or low tide, confusing even expert sailors. Fact 42. The Menai Suspension Bridge, completed in 1826 by Thomas Telford, was the world's first major iron chain suspension bridge. Its 417-meter span was built 30 meters high. So tall masted ships could pass beneath. The Britannia Bridge followed. In 1850, an innovative tubular design. Fact 41. The River Severn is Britain's longest river, 354 kilometres. It rises at 610 metres on Plinlimmon in the Cambrian Mountains. The source is so small you can step over it, but by the Bristol Channel it becomes a massive tidal estuary. Wales gives England its greatest river. Fact 40. Blaenau Festiniog was the slate capital of the planet. The Oakley mine descended 26 levels, over 1,500 feet, with over 80 kilometres of rail beneath the surface. At its peak, 4,000 workers extracted slate. Welsh slate formed from ocean. Mud, 470 to 540 million years ago, literally roofed the world. Fact 39. Paris Mountain. On Anglesey produced 50% of global copper in the 18th century. 4,000 years of mining stripped the mountain, creating a surreal, alien landscape of orange and red, a scene that looks almost Martian. And purple. Acidic pools with pH below 2 glow turquoise and rust. It looks like Mars. Fact 38. Parts of Snowdonia receive 70 to 100 inches of rain per year, enough to classify as temperate rainforest. Steep slopes force moisture upward, wringing it out in torrents. Moss-covered trees lichen dripping from branches, spray cliffs misted by waterfalls. It is as lush as the Pacific Northwest, hidden in Welsh mountains. Fact 37. The Snowdon lily grows only on Snowdon's cliffs in the United Kingdom. It is an Ice Age relic, a survivor that retreated to the only place where it still survives. Wales cold enough. The flower blooms in May and June on inaccessible ledges, a living memory of glaciers. Fact 36. The Green Bridge of Wales is a 24-metre-high natural limestone arch in Pembrokeshire, carved entirely by waves, wind and time from rock that is 350 million years old. Year-old rock. Nearby, the Elagug stacks tower over 70 metres. One day the arch will collapse and become a stack, then disappear entirely. Fact 35. Worm's Head on Gower is a 1.6-kilometre promontory that becomes an island at high tide. The name comes from Old. Norse worm means sea serpent. You can only cross during a 2.5-hour window before and after low tide. Miss it and you are stranded. Dylan Thomas got stuck there in 1932, waiting until midnight. Fact 34. Pistil Reishi Adra plunges 73 metres in a single drop, one of Britain's highest waterfalls. Fact 33. The area around Ystrad in the Brecon Beacons is waterfall country, a tight concentration of falls on the rivers Melte and Ned. At Sesgwood yr Era, you can walk behind the curtain of water without getting wet. The rivers carved deep gorges through limestone, creating hidden pools. In a green cathedral. Fact 32. The Severn Bore is a tidal wave that races upstream when spring tides force water into the narrowing Severn estuary. It reaches 3 metres high, travelling at 21 kilometres per hour. Surfers ride it for kilometres inland. It is one of the few places on Earth where you can surf a river. Fact 31st. Llyn Tegid, also called Bala Lake, is Wales's largest natural lake at 4.7 square kilometres. It is up to 42 metres deep. But the real marvel is the Gwyniad, a rare fish that has lived here since the Ice Age. It exists nowhere else on Earth. 10,000 years of isolation turned it into its own species. Fact 30. Lake Vyrnwy was built between 1880 and 1891 to supply Liverpool with water. The 44-metre dam flooded the entire village of Llanfadin. Churches, homes and graveyards were relocated. Over 1,000 people were displaced. A Welsh village was sacrificed so an English city could drink. The Menai whitebeam grows only along the Menai Strait. Approximately 30 specimens exist worldwide, all in this single location. It is critically endangered, one of Britain's rarest plants. Every tree could fit in a small park. Dan Awr Ogof is Britain's largest show cave system, over 17 kilometres of passages beneath the Brecon Beacons. Inside are massive chambers with stalactites, stalagmites, underground lakes and rivers. The cathedral cave has a dome so large it feels like a church carved from stone. In 1940, Churchill ordered Britain's most valuable art hidden in the Manod slate mine near Blaenau Festiniog. Works by Michelangelo and Da Vinci were included. The crown jewels and King's College stained glass were hidden here. Trucks disguised with Cadbury logos pretended to deliver chocolate. Inside the mountain, slate chambers became Britain's cultural vault until 1945. From underground vaults to islands that scream at night, Wales keeps getting stranger. Just wait until you hear about the seabirds. Fact 26. In 2021, the slate landscape of northwest Wales became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, encompassing 6 areas. At its peak in the 1890s, Wales produced 450,000 tonnes of slate annually. The industry exported innovations worldwide, including narrow-gauge railway technology used in India's Darjeeling Railway. Grassholm lies 11 kilometres off Pembrokeshire. From a distance it looks snow-covered, but it's actually bird guano. 39,000 breeding pairs of northern gannets nest here, the third largest colony worldwide. It's a white mountain of wings. Skomer Island hosts over 300,000 breeding pairs of Manx shearwaters. During the day they are peaceful. At night, hundreds of thousands return and flood underground burrows. Their collective calls sound like screaming babies. The island itself seems to howl. Ramsay. Island sits just 400 metres offshore near St David's. Every autumn, over 400 grey seal pups are born. On its beaches, cliffs up to 160 feet tall ring the island, and dangerous currents called the bitches and the whelps make crossing deadly. Fact 22nd. The Gower Peninsula was Britain's very first area of outstanding natural beauty in 1956. It set the standard. For all the protected landscapes that followed, Rossili Bay, stretching 3 miles, is consistently ranked one of the best beaches in the world. Fact 21. Paviland Cave on Gower yielded the Red Lady of Paviland in 1823. Actually, a young man, 33,000 years old, the oldest ceremonial burial in Western Europe. Other caves contained mammoth, woolly rhino, cave lion, and cave hyena bones. Time capsules from Ice Age Britain. Near Llanginog, paleontologists discovered Ediacaran organisms from 500 to 164 million years ago. Soft-bodied creatures that look like ferns, discs, or jellyfish. This was life before shells, before skeletons, before eyes. Wales preserves biology's first experiments. Fact 19. 600 to 500 million years ago, Wales was part of the microcontinent Avalonia at the South Pole. Through plate tectonics, Avalonia drifted thousands of kilometers north, colliding with other landmasses. These collisions folded and crushed rocks, forming mountains. Wales was forged by continents smashing together. Fact 18. Cadair Idris, at 893 meters, holds a dark legend. Anyone who spends the night on the summit will wake as a poet, a madman, or dead. The name means chair of the giant Idris. Few dare test the prophecy. Snowdon's Welsh name, Ur Widfa, means the Great Tomb. Legend says King Arthur killed the giant Rita Gore on the summit. Rita collected defeated kings' beards, weaving them into a cloak. After Arthur slew him, the giant was buried beneath the cairn. Every climber stands on a mythical grave. Fact 16. Dinorwig Power Station is hidden entirely inside Ellesmere Mountain, Europe's largest pumped storage facility. It generates 1,800 megawatts, with 16 kilometers of tunnels connecting caverns as tall as cathedrals. It goes from 0 to full power in 16 seconds. From outside, you'd never know a mountain contains a power plant. Fact 15. Wales has 3 national parks: Snowdonia, Pembrokeshire Coast, and Brecon Beacons. Together, they protect 20% of Wales's land area. Few countries dedicate such a large proportion to conservation. Fact 14. Over 60% of people in Snowdonia speak Welsh, one of Europe's oldest living languages, older than English, spoken continuously since Roman times. Place names describe the land. Cwm means valley, Bryn means hill, Afon means river. The landscape speaks Welsh. Fact 13. Welsh mountain names are descriptions. Pen y Fan means peak of the peak. Crib Goch means red comb. Tryfan means 3 stones. The ancient Welsh did not need maps. The names were directions, telling you what the mountain looked like. Fact 12. Blaenau Festiniog receives nearly 2,000 millimeters of rain each year, and it is Britain's second wettest town after Fort William. The sky is so often grey, people speak of slate-grey skies. At its peak in 1881, 12,000 people lived here. Today, around 4,000. Fact 11. Blaenau is now home to Zip World Velocity 2, Europe's fastest zip line. Riders fly over Penrhyn Quarry at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. It is 500 meters long and 150 meters high. What was an industrial scar is now an adrenaline playground. The Pembrokeshire coast path crosses rocks spanning 400 million years. Precambrian, Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous. In a single walk, you step through epochs, from stone older than complex life to coal beds with fossilized trees. The coldest temperature recorded in Wales was minus 23.3 degrees. Ada, degrees Celsius at Rayada in 1940. The hottest was 35.2 degrees Celsius at Hawarden Bridge in 1990. A range of 60 degrees, from Arctic cold to Mediterranean heat. Fact 8. The red kite was nearly extinct in Wales in the 1990s. Conservation brought it back. Peregrine falcons dive at speeds exceeding 320 kilometers per hour, faster than a Ferrari. Wales's mountains are hunting grounds for raptors. Fact 7. Pembrokeshire's coast is a geological showcase where every major period from Precambrian to Carboniferous is visible. Geologists travel worldwide to study these cliffs because nowhere else compresses so much time into such small space. Fact 6. At Penclawd on Gower, women have harvested cockles from mudflats for centuries. At low tide, they walk across endless sand with baskets and rakes, methods passed down through generations. It looks almost medieval, silhouettes in the mist, harvesting the sea's bounty. Fact 5. The strongest wind gust ever recorded in Wales was 124 miles per hour at Rhws in October 1989. Wales sits in the path of Atlantic storms. These gales shape the landscape, sculpting trees and eroding cliffs. Fact 4. Parts of Ushahawk. The Wales coast path has been rerouted multiple times due to cliff collapses. Fairbourne in Gwynedd is the first United Kingdom community designated for managed retreat, meaning it will eventually be abandoned to the sea. The coastline is changing in real time. Fact 3. Wales is fighting back. Red kites soar again. Ospreys nest in Snowdonia. Renewable energy harnesses wind and tides. 3 national parks protect 20% of the land. The slate landscape is UNESCO protected. Wales balances industry with conservation. Fact 2. Wales is 1,680 miles. Coasts are never static. Barrier islands shift. Inlets open and close. Cliffs erode. Dunes march inland. The coast path adapts, rerouting around collapses. This is not a landscape frozen in time. It is constantly evolving. Fact 1. From drifting sands to Ice Age relics on Snowdon's cliffs, from rocks that sat, from the South Pole to mountains folded by continental collisions, Wales is in perpetual motion. Its geography is not finished. Erosion, tectonics, weather, and time are still writing the story. The map changes every day. And there you have it. 50 insane geography facts about Wales that change how you see. From folded volcanoes to Britain's wettest mountain, from underground art vaults to islands that scream at night, Wales is packed with hidden wonders. Which fact blew your mind? Drop a comment below and subscribe for more geography stories from around the world. Fact 2. Wales's 1,680 miles of coast are never static. Barrier islands shift. Inlets open and close. Cliffs erode. Dunes march inland. The coast path adapts, rerouting around collapses. This isn't a landscape frozen in time, it's constantly evolving. Fact 1. From drifting sands to Ice Age relics on Snowdon's cliffs, from rocks that sat at the South Pole to mountains folded by continental collisions, Wales is in perpetual motion. Its geography isn't finished. Erosion, tectonics, weather, and time are still writing the story. The map changes.